Oh, hey, sorry, didn't see you there. Has this ever happened to you? So, I've been thinking, every so often, every day, throughout the day at some point, I'll be looking at my phone and I'll search eBay or Mercari or OfferUp or Depop, Poshmark, any number of sellers out there looking for sellers that sell used film cameras. I'll just be scrolling through, I'll type in the usual names, the usual formats, and I'll just find myself scrolling and looking for lenses to maybe buy, or camera bodies, or body caps, or viewfinders, or any number of accessories or film camera gear. I was thinking today, and this is going to be obvious to a lot of you, I hadn't really put it together in this way for myself yet, and I'm happy I finally did, but I feel like the main reason, other than just having something at my disposal all the time, 24 hours a day, that I can just have access to all that information, I feel like a big part of what people call gas for me is more so just the fact that I'm lacking going out and shooting as often as I was or would like to. And not only that, but also, I guess, letting my gear and my brain connect and work on projects that actually are fulfilling while using the gear that I already have and feeling like I am getting everything that I possibly can out of the gear that I have. Instead, I'm looking elsewhere and I'm like happy with what I have, but I'm also like not satisfied, and it's really just not a good place to be, I don't think. So I just, I don't know. I was thinking about it and I was like, okay, there are other videos that are really good and talk about giving yourself prompts, or there's other YouTube channels that are giving prompts, and you can connect with those prompts through Discord or other things. And those are awesome. And I highly suggest to myself and to other people, if you find yourself looking all over the internet and scouring the internet to the ends just to find one more, I don't even know. There's just so much stuff out there. I'll never acquire it all, but at this point I kind of almost feel like I'll never acquire enough, which is not where I want to be. I want to be able to save money. I want to be able to enjoy what I do have. And in other areas of my life, I do. So it's very weird that, like, I don't know. I don't need more and I know it, but I still try really hard to subconsciously convince myself that there's something more out there. And I'll have this ongoing dialogue in my brain while I'm searching for, say, a 21 millimeter external viewfinder so I can use my 21 millimeter lens with a viewfinder. I'll just be saying, you don't need it. You can just zone focus, take the photo, see what you get. It's exciting. I made a video early on, not that many videos ago, talking about that exact thing and the limitations of the M3's frame lines. I still think that way. I think that they're not limiting. The fact that you don't get 35 millimeter frame lines or 21 millimeter frame lines or anything else other than 50 and above, I think that that's actually really good for me personally in practice to let go and not rely on gear or not rely on other, in-camera aids to be able to start to see that way, or just be open to potential, I guess. So I guess what I'm saying is I need to start working on, and maybe you do too, I'm not entirely sure, but I'm just opening up this dialogue here. Work on giving ourselves more, not distractions, but more, I guess, just different areas of focus within the craft of photography, and just trying our hardest to enjoy what we have, whether it be an electronic Minolta, like a 3XI or something, and you're like unsure if that's enough for you, and maybe you want to get like a Contax G2, but you don't want to spend almost $2,000 on one. Don't spend the $2,000. Give yourself another like 6 months with that camera, and I'm talking to myself too, and see what you can actually get, and push yourself and push the camera. Work with weird things, like get weird filters, use a piece of broken glass. Like, they do this in film photography school, and I don't know this by experience because I never got to do this. I didn't get to do it in high school either. We did have it, but I wasn't focused on that. I just wanted to skateboard every day. They do exercises like that, to challenge you and to get you to think creatively, and push yourself and see what you can do with a camera, whether it's got no features on it at all or all the features in the world. It's what's up here and what you see and what's interesting to you that is really going to show in your photos. Just a table through a window, if that's interesting to you and that's exciting and you see it and you have that camera that's not the camera you think you want, make the photo, scan it, do whatever you're going to do with it. You might be surprised. And most likely, if you did end up spending that $2,000 on that other camera, when you did get it, you'd be out a lot of money. And chances are that other camera is not going to deliver much better than what you've gotten already. So, if better at all, actually. I think it is a major part of photography, and a major part with anything, any craft at all, is the relationship between you and your tool. I need to move beyond this, I need to release this whole thing, I think, of just wanting to experience all these different cameras and all these different formats, because the truth of the matter is that they all pretty much do the same thing. They all hold a certain format of film, and they all let light hit it, and then don't let light hit it. That's pretty much all they're doing. And I don't have any fancy cameras that have light meters built in or anything that I use anyways. I have a Reveni lab meter, but I've used it one time. It's in a box over there, and I'm not sure I'm ever going to use it again. It wasn't that satisfying. It took me away from looking at what I was trying to look at, and it made me just think in numbers, and it was just weird. Not really for me, but I think that experiencing whatever camera you have or cameras you have and trying to just work with them and work within those limitations or the bounds that you've set for yourself by getting those cameras, and whatever film you have, even if you just have Fomapan and a Pentax point and shoot or something, even if it's not DX coded and your camera only reads DX coded film and it exposes it for the wrong ISO, you could get some really interesting stuff. And to me, that's worth it. It may not be that for you, but that's a way that I have pushed myself, is just being open to potential and open to mistakes. So I don't know, I was thinking about it, and I just think it's really interesting. And I'm not saying I'm gonna stop scrolling for new cameras today. I want to, though. I do sell cameras, so I look for cameras to resell. This is also something that I do just to purchase and have stuff. And I have so many cameras that I haven't picked up in a long time. And a lot of them I want to get rid of. And a lot of the time I think, okay, I'm going to keep this, this, and this. Those will be my 3 cameras. The rest I'm just going to sell. But then I'm like, well, nobody's going to buy them. And I'm always trying to create this like call and response as to why I should and why I shouldn't. And it's just interesting. I comment below if you've had this too. I almost feel like this is like a therapy session or something. But I guess in a sense coming clean to myself and coming clean to you and hoping that maybe someone else feels this way or is experiencing this. And I think the prompts thing is a great idea, whether it be like, going out and trying to find a color for the day to photograph, or if you do black and white or color, like maybe, I don't know, a word or like some lyrics to a song or a line from a book or something, that walking around and trying to piece scenery in with or moments in with those bits and connect them, like with the words or whatever. Yeah, just certain things like patterns and stuff. Just try to give yourself prompts. I'm gonna try to do that more. I usually just photograph whatever is around and walk around and do like neighborhood photography and like day-to-day stuff. I think it would be a very interesting exercise to try to, and I don't want to use the word limit myself to using one camera because I really don't think it's a limitation. Just being deliberate and choosing a camera for that day and actually spending time with it and not bringing like 3 cameras. Like a lot of the time I'll bring a medium format camera, a 35mm rangefinder or SLR, and a point and shoot. And if not that, at least a medium format and a point and shoot, because they deliver different things. I like having access to different options when I'm outside. But it kind of can be a bit much, and it doesn't need to be that way. So just, yes, choosing to take one camera out in the world, using that one camera, and working with it, and forming a relationship with it rather than being like, well, I don't know, I just don't know about this camera. It might not get me the right, like the right image I'm looking for or something, because, I mean, truthfully, it has nothing to do with the camera and the image. It's how much I'm willing to work with the scene and the gear I have and physically put myself where I need to be to actually get the image that I want. There's other factors outside of just the gear I'm using. So anyways, that's kind of it. Interesting thought. Maybe not very interesting, but if you've experienced this or you're experiencing this and you have any ideas about how you've moved through it, I see on a lot of forums that people always have like their camera and their lens, but I feel like they probably, and they'll like tell people who are questioning like, what lens should I buy for this camera body that I'm just getting? And they always seem to have like it figured out, but I kind of feel like they probably have like a pile of cameras that they never use, and they probably still buy cameras too, but they just sound figured out because it's a paragraph on a forum. But if you feel similar to me or not, feel free to comment below. I'm very curious. I am going to try to do this. I've been trying to do it with writing as well, just giving myself prompts so I can like keep having fun with words. And I want to keep having fun with the cameras I have and what I see in the world and keep working in that way. I just want to shape it a little bit differently and also limit my amount of time that I spend looking for other stuff I don't necessarily need. So here's to hoping. Anyways, that's it for today, and I hope to hear from you, and thanks for watching.